And welcome to That Bible Guy. Never do this when sharing your faith. Strong words today. There are many things, of course, that we may or may not do when sharing our faith, but I really believe if we get this one today, it will help us to not take on so much responsibility when sharing our faith, more than we should, and make it harder and put more pressure on us than we need to have. I personally have been doing this for many years, making this mistake for many years when sharing my faith. What I've been doing, and what many of us can do when we're sharing our faith, is we take on the responsibility in the conversation. In other words, we take on the burden of proof for the claim that's been made rather than with the person who made it. In other words, when someone makes a claim when you're sharing your faith or defending your faith or the conversation, Christianity comes up. You're a Christian, someone says something, and you hear them make a claim. I believe in evolution. I don't believe the Bible is the Word of God. And then fill in the gap. And then you hear this as a Christian, and part of you feels like, I should jump in here. Should I not jump in and turn my head on and pretend I didn't hear it? Or will I maybe say something? Or do I need to tackle what they've just said? Often we put so much pressure on ourselves to respond to what they've just said. And we then pick up the burden of proof to kind of prove them wrong. Now, some of that thinking might be good, and some of the things we might say might be good, but there's something I want us to do first. I want us to stop if we're in that situation where we jump in to prove them wrong. After they've said something like that, made a statement or made a claim like that for not believing in Christianity, but Jesus, the Bible, or whatever. For instance, for myself, I've heard this a few times. People have said things like, religion is the cause of most wars. And often I've made the mistake, even though I know what I want to say, because that's not true. 5,000 years of wars, there's 1,700 wars, only 7% of them were in the name of religion. And if you remove Islam, it brings it down to about 3% of all wars in the last 5,000 years. So I have information I want to give to the person who says religion is the cause of most wars. As I have knowledge to refute what they're saying. However, I've taken that on and responded rather than letting them defend the claim they've just made. Religion is the cause of most wars. I need to make sure that they defend the view they've just made. They can't get away with, if you like, making a statement that they don't have to back up. So what I should be doing and what I should have done in that situation, and I try to do it now, is, first of all, what do you mean by that? Just to draw out any nuances, although that is pretty straightforward. How did you come to that conclusion? What's the basis of your opinion for thinking that, religion is the cause of most wars? What drew you to that opinion? What did you study and what did you learn? The point here is, and the thing we need to avoid when sharing our faith is taking on the burden of proof, the person making the claim needs to be the one to defend it. Whoever makes the claim, if it's you, you need to defend it. If it's the other person, they need to defend it. And that is the golden rule. I remember it was about a year ago, I was sitting with a friend of mine, and he had turned his back on Christianity and in fact claimed that he didn't believe in God anymore. And he said to me, I was reading about a good biblical scholar, in fact, who has differing views about the Bible, and he said a few things that made me think the Bible's not reliable. That was his point. The Bible's not reliable based on this writer, this well-known writer that I would read his works myself. And he said, and I jumped in to try and defend it just over a year and a half ago. And I realized when I left, hold on a minute, I need to ask him how he came to the conclusion the Bible's not reliable based on what this guy had said. In fact, what specifically was it that he said? And of course, I didn't do this. So the person making the claim needs to be the one to defend it. I'm sure we've heard many, many claims against Christianity. How have we responded to them? Have we jumped in to try and defend it? So many things we're going to hear these days, and there are many things. I believe in evolution. I believe in science, not the Bible, not religion. There's truth in all religions. It's not just about your religion. I don't like your view on fill in the gap. Homosexuality, abortion, gender issues, social issues. I don't like your view on this because of you're a Bible believer. Christians are hypocrites. Christians are, again, fill in the gap. People say all kinds of statements like this. All kinds of statements. People have strong views on this to the loudest statement. We shouldn't jump in and make the mistake of having to defend against what they've just said we need to make them explain why they believe that. So what is the basis for your opinion? What led you to the conclusion that what you've just said is true? What is your evidence? So we should never take on the burden of proof of a claim that someone else has made. They need to defend what they've just said. And what does this do? This takes the pressure off us. The pressure is then removed from us because we don't have to jump in and think, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? Get them to defend it first. And in doing this, I've had several occasions recently where I've had someone claim the Bible's unreliable. I don't believe in the Bible stance on this. Christianity can't be right because of this. I've now taken to saying, well, why do you think this? What's led you to that conclusion? What have you studied that gives you that view? And what I've found, in fact, is instead of us trying to negate a broad claim like that, the Bible's unreliable, I believe in evolution, instead of trying to defend against a broad claim, it's easier to negate specifics. When you get the specific information that they have that gives them the reason for saying that. Now, word of warning here, people often cannot back up why they believe what they believe, why they've just said that. It may be just some sort of a line they've heard somewhere else, and they don't really know what it means, what they've just said. They can't back it up. There is no evidence to back that up. So never do this when sharing your faith. Never take on the burden of proof. The person who makes the claim needs to be the one to defend it. Don't jump in to say why what they said is wrong, but get them to explain it and lay it out. Just because we're interested and we want to know. If this has helped you today and you liked it, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to That Bible Guy if you haven't already. Please share this on for other people, and let's get his word out there.